चलिए इतना टाइम मैं तो समथिंग होगा चलिए कोई नया आईडी दे रहे हैं बाद में जीरो पीएचडी के लिए जो पीएम को भी रखा था ना तो कभी मैसेज कर रहा एक और आईडी दे देना नया ये भी आएंगे सर प्रेजेंटेशन है ये नहीं है सर यार ये तो मुझे पूछता था अमित सर कोई प्रेजेंटेशन तो नहीं हो सकती कोई प्रेजेंटेशन तो नहीं है नहीं है ना हम कुछ नहीं करेंगे यहाँ से कुछ नहीं करेंगे ऐसा राउंड चलवा रहा था मैं वो तो कुछ हमें शेयर नहीं ठीक और हाँ वो this virtual link. And it is Rohan is there and Sanjeev. Sanjeev is also there. Akansha, do we see you? Akansha, we can. Yeah, we got you. Hi Akansha, welcome.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Professor Nirupma, also I saw Professor Nirup.
Professor Niru Agrawal is from Professor Rajiv Jain will be next for the second session. Sir, Professor Sharma will be joining. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir, and thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Dr. Nisha is also here. Welcome, Dr. Nisha.
Dr. Ajay, best of luck to you. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, madam. Anil R&D. Sir, Dr. Harshi. Yeah. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Honorable Minister, sir. Now, should we begin to proceeding? So let us all welcome Honorable Minister.
Sir.
Sir, कोई बात देख ले?
हाँ देख ले.
Yes, yeah. I'm already waiting. Don't worry. Start.
I think inside बैठ गए. This is there.
You can start. I'm already waiting for you to start.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, thank you for joining, sir. Ashish, please start.
Sir. Very good afternoon and warm welcome to everybody. We begin our special session for the second day of our program with a very good suggestion of Dr. Ram. Ram sir said that science is global. Einstein's theory of E is equal to mc square has to reach everywhere. And science is evolutionary and we should not distort it. Science does not differentiate between multiple races. We are into the second day of the international seminar on science and technology research policy practice interface for climate risk management. Yesterday we had two special policy panel discussions on S&T policy in India, context of present and future, and also path-breaking research needs. The program has been attended by wonderful participation from dignitaries from the fields of science and technology, policy and planning and project implementers globally. This is a due service for promotion of Honorable Prime Minister's Agenda 10 on disaster risk management, especially item 5, leveraging science and technology. To begin with today's special session, I invite Professor Anil Kumar Gupta ji, Head of Department ECDR and Division National Institute of Disaster Management and Project in charge of CAPRIS to brief about yesterday's proceedings and also today's planned sections. Dr. Gupta.
And very good afternoon, and on behalf of the National Institute of Disaster Management and the partners that include SPICI, IUCNSM, and in collaboration with the Department of Science and Technology and many other institutions including GIZ Germany, I take this privilege of welcoming Honorable Minister of Science and Technology and who is also Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Vardhan, at this occasion. It is really a matter of great privilege and happiness for all of us that he has taken time from his very tight schedule to address all of us and to encourage us towards this journey of implementing Prime Minister's Agenda 10 on disaster risk management, of which the item 5 is on leveraging science and technology, of which he is, Dr. Harshvardhan is the leader actually at the national level, who is leading from the front all the NDBs of science and technology in the country, and currently he as the chair of the WHO, he is giving his guidance not only within India, but it's a kind of a much broader platform. So it's really a matter of great honor. Sir, this 3 days conference, which because of this current situation, we have organized during the using the online platform. This conference is organized under the Department of Science and Technology supported program called Climate Adaptive Planning for Resilience and Sustainability, which is a part under the National Knowledge Mission on Climate Change under the National Action Plan on Climate Change that is led by the Department of Science and Technology under your leadership. This project is being implemented by NIDM. This is for 3 years. And previous year also we had organized a major conference at the Constitution Club of India in the month of September. Sir, yesterday the program began where the keynote address was given by the Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, with your blessings, and was addressed by Sri GVV Sharma, Member Secretary of National Disaster Authority, along with other dignitaries from GIZ Germany, India office, Dr. Kamal Kishore, and several other officials and executives from Department of Science and Technology and many other. we had 3 technical sessions yesterday. Those were discussing about the science and technology policy issues in India, that how we evolve the science and technology policies over time, and how we what direction we are heading for, and what are the kind of issues that we are going to use the science and technology for Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan that we have witnesses for messages for, and also the 5 trillion economy by 2024 and the 10 trillion economy by 2029. So these are the issues were discussed in detail, that how we are heading forward. Then we also discussed about we had a session of path-breaking research, that what are the research needs to foster the requirements and innovations in science and technology domains. Then we also had the various other dimensions of the capacity building and other things being discussed in the previous session. So now we have other sessions like the disruptive technology, how the disruptive technologies are important, that is going to transform the entire world, transform the entire industry and also the corporate world, and even the social life within our offices or within at home. So these are the kind of things we are going to discuss. Then we are also going to have specific presentations based on the outcomes and the deliverables under the project of integrating climate change adaptation with disaster risk management, and also with various aspects of developmental planning at the national, state and local level, and also integrating the innovations at the local level and by the local institutions, including a network of various institutions. So these are the kind of things that we have discussed, and today and tomorrow we are going to have specific sessions. The sessions are chaired by the luminaries of national and international importance, and all the speakers national importance, well-known experts across all the sessions. So this technical deliberation is very rich, and we are envisaging for 2 key outcomes. One is a brief policy outcome, how we utilize the science and technology dimensions for climate risk management in the country. So it's some kind of a policy document under the leadership, under your able leadership. And then another will be a knowledge compendium contributed by all the experts who have joined this conference. So we come up with the existing database about this knowledge. So with this introduction about the conference and about the project, I take the opportunity again to welcome the Honorable Minister and all other dignitaries, Professor Deepak B. Pathak, Padma Shri, who is from IIT Mumbai, and also Professor B.K. Sharma, who is the Vice Chairman of Sikkim State Disaster Management Authority, who is also having a status of Minister in the state. So over to Mr. Panda again. Thank you. Mr. Ashish Panda.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Professor Gupta, for briefing us about the proceedings of our program. Honorable Dr. Harshvardhan ji was present with us most of the time, most of the part of our inaugural session yesterday, and had me for some urgency. He is again with us, keeping his promise. We are honored with your benign presence, sir. I now request Executive Director, National Institute of Disaster Management, Major General Shri Manoj Kumar Bindal ji, DSM, to kindly welcome our chief guest for today's special session, please. Bindal sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ashish Panda ji. First of all, heartiest welcome to Dr. Harshvardhan, Honorable Minister for Science and Technology and Health and Family Welfare. It is his presence in this particular conference shows the commitment of the government towards promoting the PM 10-point agenda for disaster risk reduction. I also welcome Dr. F. Padma Shri, Professor from IIT Bombay, Professor B.K. Sharma, Executive Vice Chairman for the Sikkim Disaster Management Authority, Dr. Akhilesh Gupta, who is Advisor and Head of SPLICE Program, for gracing this occasion and giving us the required guidance and support. I also welcome all the panelists for today and the eminent speakers who will be coming up later today in this particular webinar. The participants are always welcome because without them no program can be conducted. We are aware that this is a very important topic on which this conference is going on, because COVID-19 pandemic has suddenly thrown us into an arena where technology has taken the main lead role rather than human action. In that case, we are now more and more dependent upon technology. We are more and more dependent upon the disruptive technology that is coming up. That there is a need that we need to reorient our disaster risk reduction processes towards climate risk management with the help of scientific technology and research and policy practice. So leveraging the technology to enhance the efficiency of disaster risk management uh, efforts is very important to promote the mainstreaming of disaster risk assessments into land use policy development, their implementation, including urban planning, land degradation assessments, and informal and non-permanent housing, and the use of guidelines and follow-up tools informed by anticipated demographic and environmental changes. So this clearly spells out this need that there is a need of a multiple science and technology disciplines to be on board in the framework of the disaster risk management. So in a disaster-prone country like India, it is important to ensure that people have rapid access to information that will encourage preventive measures and enable quick response to protect lives and livelihoods. So the use of technology may emerge in future as a key to planning sustainable vulnerability assessment, disaster response, and to how it can be replicated in the country. Internet-based tools are also gaining popularity in disaster risk management efforts. For example, our ROK Setu app that has made so much, the maximum number of downloads of any app in the world is of ROK Setu app. And it is being used in all walks of life. Even when you go to the marketplace, you go to any shop, he's checking your ROK Setu to ensure that you are safe and you can yourself check your surroundings with that app. So such a important and such a powerful tool has been developed post COVID-19. The National Action Plan on Climate Change, which has got 8 mission tabs, it taps on the technological advances and applications and the framework of multiple science technologies which can be roped in for the disaster risk management. So SMT applications in disaster risk management need to be promoted at all levels on the principles which are set by Sendai framework, and they should be in all stages of the disaster management, right from hazard, risk vulnerability assessment, impact assessment, environmental assessment, disaster management planning, mitigation for both ecological, environmental, structural, social and capacity interventions, response and relief related issues. So these all will call for science and technology enterprise from various agencies, and it will challenge the science and technology experts to come out with more innovative solutions. And for that, this particular seminar has been rightly planned at this moment, at this point of time, because we are facing a era where the new normal is different from what was practiced for years and years. We had a paradigm shift from response and relief centric to preparation and mitigation centric, and now it is moving towards resilience centric. In that, the role of science and technology, research and policy practices will play a major role. And this particular CAPRIS conference under CAPRIS program under the Departments of Science and Technology, Government of India, will be able to bring out a large number of things which will benefit the community, which will benefit the policy makers, so that the future policy intervention shall risk-informed policy planning and risk-informed interventions are used. So with this, I once again welcome all the panelists, and once again I welcome Dr. Harsh Vardhan for gracing this occasion. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Ashish Panda.
Thank you, Vardhan, sir, for your wonderful welcome remarks and also rightly highlighting the use of science and technology for disaster risk management and mitigation, and eventually leading disaster-resilient society in times to come. Now the moment has come we have been waiting for. Dr. Harshvardhan, a medical professional and public figure, incumbent cabinet minister, Ministry of Science and Technology, Earth Science, Health and Family Welfare, sir was recently elected to the office of chairperson of executive board of the World Health Organization from May 2020 to fight the pandemic at global level, declaring India polio-free in 2014 by WHO. Some credit goes to Dr. Harshvardhan for his successful implementation of Pulse Polio program in 1995, for he got also a WHO DG's polio eradication champion award commendation medal. Sir is also credited with enactment of the Delhi Prohibition of Smoking and Non-Smokers Health Protection Act, first of its kind in any states in India. His focus has always been to motivate countries' young scientists for broadening their area and scope of inventions, research and S&T innovations. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. I request you to kindly bless us with your special address for today's program. Dr. Harshvardhan.
Thank you, Dr. Panda, for giving me this opportunity. Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Shri GVV Sarma, Member Secretary, NDMA. Dr. Akhilesh Gupta, Advisor and Head Strategic and Large Programs for DST. Major General Manoj Kumar Bindal, Executive Director, NIDM. Dr. Deepak B. Pathak, Padam Shri and Professor from IIT Bombay. Professor V.K. Sharma, Executive Vice Chairman, Sikkim SDMA and Senior Professor, Professor Anil Gupta and Dr. Anjali Barwal, Shri Kamal Kishore. I could pen down a few names who I think are present here in this program, but I am sure there are many top distinguished people, scientists and heads of various institutions and various departments related to Disaster Management Authority as well as to the Department of Science and Technology, not only in India but also all across the world. As was told that there are people from Germany and other places. So I must at the outset thank you all for being participant in this very important conference, Science Technology Research Policy Practice Interface for Climate Risk Management. In fact, you all know that I am a medical doctor by profession, an ENT surgeon who has most of the time, all his life, I have spent most of my time working in the field of health in various capacities, as a medical student, as an activist of medical associations, as health minister in Delhi, and then at the union level, also as advisor for World Health Organization for a number of years for the Southeast Asian countries. But I got this privileged opportunity to be the Science and Technology Minister and Minister for Earth Sciences of the Government of India only in November 2014. In spite of being a student background person, I could in the last 6 years appreciate the potential of science in a very big way only after having become the Science and Technology Minister and after having observed science from the closest of quarters, after having visited almost laboratories across the country belonging to DST, biotechnology, earth sciences, science, and even I visited many institutions belonging to ISRO and even ICAR, and I could see the level of science that's actually happening in the country. And today it's really beyond my expression or my vocabulary to really express the type of joy that I can experience. And I can see that the science and technology people, together with the disaster authority people, working together, and there is a there is an organized effort to see how the discoveries in science, the inventions in science, the research in science, or the technologies being developed in science, they can actually be used by the relevant people, the relevant places. And I think there can't be anything more important than managing disasters. And I also had the privilege of being the environment minister of the country for about 2 years. And while being environment minister, I could see from very close quarters what is the need for the environment department and for the issues related to environment and for actually handling the issues of climate change and global warming, which are the issues of extensive concern for the whole world. And my science and technology people know that for the first time, I got an institutionalized system developed there where the secretary of the environment ministry and all my science secretaries, they used to work together and try to see how they can collaborate with each other, how they can be mutually helpful to each other for finding out solutions to make the lives of the people better. And after having worked in science, I have a strong feeling and conviction that science is something which has the potential to solve each and every problem, which has the potential to actually help everybody, you can say, factor, every issue of every department. In fact, it was just a coincidence that today I am having this participation in an international conference where the disaster management authority people and my own people are working together. Only 3-4 days back, I had the privilege to visit the National Disaster Response Force 8th Battalion campus in Ghaziabad. And there I could see the practical application of science people and the disaster people working together, where one of our leading CSIR laboratories in Roorkee, they could develop a hospital for the NDRF people within 3 days and carry that hospital on their shoulders. And it was a beautiful hospital which they are right now going to use for COVID, and ultimately it will be used for the imminent needs of the volunteers of the NDRF force and all. So science is something which is, and then I also feel happy. I am sorry I couldn't be part of the programs yesterday, but this is something the details in which you have all gone, and the type of intellectual acumen that has been used and the intellectuals that have been involved in this program. It is just literally mind-boggling and just unbelievable. A host of, I think, when I went through the whole program, I could see at least not in dozens, but I think it must be at least 100 top people of the country and the whole world going to participate in so many sessions lasting for 3 days with science and technology policy in India, the context of present and future, path-breaking research needs, then role of industry and private sectors, role of disruptive technologies about which everybody has been talking just now, climate resilience and disaster-safe development, and then this CAPRES and allied projects, presentations about them, green growth, sustainable strategies, and then of course finally your advisory committee meeting, which has again more than a dozen top people of the country and the whole world. And tomorrow, fortunately, the very weekly session is going to be presided by none other but our own Minister of State for Home Affairs, Mr. Nityanand Rai, our dear colleague. So it's a I think a great conference, and certainly gives me the satisfaction, because whenever I had gone and visited these laboratories, my only regret used to be that why is all this knowledge that is the product of all these technological developments, that is the product of the hard work of day and night hard work of scientists for years together, why can't be used for the benefit of mankind? Why can't all these scientific issues and these discoveries be transferred to the people through the industry or whatever route? And why can't I am fully convinced that every department of the government of India has, has the requirement of needing science and these scientific interventions. And Science and Technology Ministry itself is not only about climate change or global warming or about the disaster, but for any field that we talk about within the government, science and technology is already doing so much, but its potential is actually huge. And that is why I have to start by thanking NIDM for having organized this very important conference on this Science and Technology Research Policy Practice Interface for Climate Risk Management. Science and technology, as I said, has a critical role to play in the climate adaptive planning to help building disaster resilience and sustainability, contributing towards our journey towards self-reliance as part of our Prime Minister's clarion call for an Atmanirbhar Bharat. And it's not only a call. He, from the day one, we have seen right from 2014, whenever he talks about something, whenever he gives a call for something, whenever he starts a new mission, he works in a mission mode to ensure that that mission goes up to its logical, successful conclusion. There are perceptible and measurable indicators and parameters and changes that happen to the country. And on everything that he has spoken in the last 6 years, I don't want to name all those projects, right, from the financial inclusion to the Swachh Bharat or the Swasth Bharat or the Stand Up India or the Digital India, and so many things that he has done. Now the latest is the National Digital Health Mission, and to his Ayushman Bharat, everything he has taken it forward. So when he talks about a Atmanirbhar Bharat, and when he talks about a new India to be delivered to everybody by the year 2022, he really means it. And I am sure that with the backing of science and all our senior people, he can actually see that this dream is accomplished and it is realized. So, according to a survey made by independent agencies like the Globe Scan and the National Geographics for 18 countries in the world, India ranks one in terms of a parameter called Greendex, which is a measure of sustainability and lifestyle. Despite so much of contribution to sustainability and environment, India is one of the worst impacted countries in the world in terms of extreme events. Every day we feel the havoc happening somewhere or the other in all forms. India is among the few countries which witnesses almost all types of disasters like earthquakes, tropical cyclones, floods, tsunamis, thunderstorms, hailstorms, lightning, heat waves, etc. And we have experienced almost all of them during this major COVID pandemic also. Improved warning systems have greatly helped reducing loss of lives, but the loss of property continues to increase as more and more infrastructure due to economic development is getting exposed to disasters. But over the years, we have seen so closely, and as a Minister for Earth Sciences, I have seen that how meticulously our scientists have been able to predict the timing of the cyclones, the timing of the disasters, the timing of the flood, the impact that these floods and cyclones are going to have. And today our tsunami warning systems, the early tsunami warning systems are probably we are amongst the number one countries in the whole world, and we are in fact issuing warnings not only to India but to all the ring countries. So it's a great tribute to the scientists who have, I think, brought us to a very higher pedestal. It is certainly true that accelerated climate change is driving the world to a set of conditions that humans never experienced. Climate change is likely to cause loss and damage that is beyond adaptation as sea levels rise, storms surge, hurricanes become severe, ocean acidifies, temperature rises, and freshwater resources deplete. There has been an increasing trend in the frequency and severity of climate change inflicted extreme weather events. Growing risks are pushing vulnerable people, communities, and countries to their physical and socio-economic adaptation levels. There is an increasing recognition that adaptation and mitigation may not be enough to manage the impacts of climate change, and stress the urgent need to develop and implement effective climate risk assessment and management approaches in order to prevent or minimize the losses. And here I would like to recall with a lot of nostalgia that is apart from science, we initiated a huge Green Good Deeds movement while being in the Environment Ministry. There are just small positive actions which the people of the whole world, if they make changes in their small habits, make their behavior as green good behavior, but perform in green good deeds, then they can in fact induce a lot of changes in the society apart from what we can achieve through science. Climate risk management will help in observing, analyzing, controlling, envisaging, and preparing for the future risks related to climate change. Devising a comprehensive framework for India includes addressing fundamental concerns related to uncertainty as well as applying learning theories for reducing these uncertainties. A robust climate risk management framework calls for a multi-level approach across the country, whether it is national, subnational, regional or local, to determine the various climate change risks likely to impact the country while also providing a broad understanding of the loss and damage likely to be caused by these risks. As there are needs for proper strategies not only to save people from disasters but also to build resilience towards disasters, educating people about the types and nature of disaster and ways to build resilience and is of great importance. This would mean building capacity of the communities to face these disasters. Department of Science and Technology has made some major achievements and advancements in the implementation of two national missions on climate change as part of the National Action Plan on Climate Change. Under the two missions, as many as 200 projects of different sizes have been supported, which include 15 centers of excellence, 30 major R&D programs, 14 network programs which comprise of nearly 100 projects, 6 task forces, 25 state climate change centers, etc. During the last 6 years, I am talking about during my tenure as the Science and Technology Minister, about which I know in a little greater detail. As many as 1,500 research papers in high impact factor journals were published. More than 100 new techniques have been developed. and nearly 50,000 people have been trained as part of these missions. I think all these achievements are really historic, and I would like to place on record my greatest of appreciation for all the scientists working for the success of all this. More than 1,200 scientists and students are right now working in these mission projects. I am delighted that the NIDM is implementing this CAPES project as part of the DST's national mission on strategic knowledge for climate change. The project practices capacity development supported through knowledge forum, including consultative workshops and training programs of key stakeholders across different sectors and levels. The resource material produced under the project includes documentations of outcomes, lessons, case studies, policy, technical papers, training course manuals, compendium, resource volumes, which are very important for strengthening science policy and practice interface. This conference has enabled a great network of scientific luminaries, which I could appreciate right now, researchers and professionals across domains, not only from India, but from outside also, to discuss and deliberate on the important dimensions of science and technology development and research promotion, cooperation and collaboration, issues and opportunities. This is a great occasion to contribute towards nation building in the truest of sense. In a changing time with onset of new technologies, but also the new challenges and the social behavioral changes, a new paradigm of science policy practice is much warranted. I would like to congratulate once again the organizers for such a useful initiative, and specifically in these COVID times, I know the whole country had been under great strain, but it's not only the doctors and our nurses and our people in the health sector who have worked as corona warriors, but also the scientists in all our laboratories, whether in the science sector or in the health sector, ICMR and other places. They have all risen to the occasion. And this is because of the contribution of the scientists that we could isolate the virus, we could do the genome sequencing of the virus, we are in the process of development of a vaccine, we could, in a country where we were importing ventilators, we are now in a position to export ventilators, in a country which was not producing PPEs and so many things like N95 masks and drugs and so many research related to the handling of COVID. We are now in a situation where we are now trying to help the rest of the world. So this is all, a lot of our scientists have contributed in a big way, and that is why we today, amongst the list of more than 200 countries affected the world over with COVID, we today have in a country of 1.35 billion people, where some of the great stalwarts in the whole world, they had projected and they had quoted so many great calculations and so many researches of the great institutes of the whole world. They had said that by this time, India will have over 3 million cases and over 5-6 million deaths. But fortunately, we just had about 3 million cases, and out of that, a majority have recovered and they have gone back. Today, we have a recovery rate probably the best in the whole world, over 76%, and the least mortality rate in the whole world. From a single lab, we have gone up to over 1,500 laboratories, and this is the test which the sample used to be sent to America a couple of years back, before 2014. For the testing and the isolation of the virus. So this all has happened because the whole country worked together. The various departments worked as various arms of the government. They were all mutually conducive to each other's supporting system. So I think with these few words, I would like to wish the conference a grand success, and I am sure that once the great team sits together tomorrow evening, they will come out with a set of great recommendations. And I have always believed that these recommendations are not only for the books or for papers or for any booklet that is published after the conference, but they are actually meant for implementation. So there should be a mechanism where all whatever you discuss in the last, whatever you are going to discuss in these 3 days, you must make sure that each and every valid suggestion full of wisdom that must be implemented in the larger interest of the country, and our disaster management authority should go back with more of confidence. They should be bubbling with confidence that they can deal with anything on this earth. When I visited the 8th Battalion campus the other day, I was told that our disaster management force is going to be recognized by the United Nations very soon, and they will be all over the world. At one call, they will be joining to help the unfortunate disaster-related activities anywhere in the whole world. So, at this time when there is so much of technology that has been offered through science, we have to ensure that everything is used for saving the mankind from these disasters. This conference should go down in history as a landmark conference which produced a radical change in our working style and which produced a radical change in handling disaster mitigation efforts in the country. So with these two words, I once again congratulate all the scientists and more particularly those who have joined this international conference from abroad. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
Thanks, Dr. Harshvardhan. You appreciated the role of science and technology and also the level of work being undertaken for overall growth and development of our country. As disaster management is so crucial in our country, more science and technology people should be working with disaster management, risk management and mitigation people. You spoke about the new institutionalized way of collaboration among various science and technology departments, institutions under your able leadership, sir. You rightly emphasized, sir, that hard work of scientists should reach the common mass and not just remain in the labs. Science and technology can definitely help in climate adaptive planning through sharp accuracy in providing data and sustainable development and Atmanirbhar Bharat. And you rightly highlighted the need for climate risk management framework in our country, increasing capacity building for local community, and how National Action Plan on Climate Change can help us in this regard. Thank you so much, sir. Your blessings and warm words will only encourage this program to further flourish and achieve its desired outcomes, sir. Thank you so much. Now we have with us Padma Shri Professor Deepak Patil.
Ashish ji, sir, Ashish ji means from Dr. Akhilesh Gupta. He had
Atmanirbhar Bharat, and you rightly highlighted the need for climate risk management framework in our country, increasing capacity building for local community, and how national action plan on climate change can help us in this regard. Thank you so much, sir. Your blessings and warm words will only encourage this program to further flourish and achieve its desired outcomes, sir. Thank you so much. Now we have with us Padma Shri Professor Deepak Patil.
Ashish ji, sir, Ashish ji, we missed out Dr. Akhilesh Gupta. He had